Hello, today we're going to talk about Credit 101. The pores of credit, how to maintain it, how you fix your credit if you need to do that. But before we get started today, here's our agenda. First, the introduction. I'm going to introduce myself, who I am. The next thing we're going to talk about is credit, the 101 and basics of credit. I think credit is really about, for sure, firm belief, credit is really about our own is about discipline, about our own personal discipline on making the right decisions oftentimes. I know there's stumbling blocks, I know there's speed bumps, I know there's hurdles in life, but most of the time what we have with credit oftentimes is just because of our personal discipline of making sure we have look at long-term gratification over short-term gratification. So I just want to let you guys just hold on to think about that. But while we get started, let me introduce myself and where I've been. So, about me, my name is Jason Matthews. I am President and CEO of Matthews Financial Insurance Solutions. I've been in the financial services industry since 2004. In 2004, I was with the Fortune 100 company, and then the Great Recession hit. That company's fine, still there today, strong company. But in the Great Recession, we saw companies like Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual, while COVID had closed and folded. And I decided to take my young whippersnapper entrepreneur skills and develop and start my own firm. And so in 2009, I started Matthews Financial and Insurance Solutions, which I'm very excited, very proud of. Now that we've been around now for almost going on to 13 years, what we specialize in working with people who come across a windfall of money. That can be from an inheritance. Let's say a family member might pass away, a sale of real estate, they might have sold a home, switch jobs, which many of us might have, or just retired, or your business have grown substantial. We help you plan your course of action from there with our strategies and planning. Also, in 2018, I am the author of the best selling book, The Age of Self Reliance. It talked about the upcoming financial storm. I think we haven't hit it yet. It looks like we was almost there last year in 2020 with COVID, but I think we have not hit that mark yet. And this book is a tried and true way of how to prepare for yourself. You can also pick up the book if you like on Amazon as well. But more and one accomplishment I'm really proud of. I'm the top 1% of insurance and financial advisor in the world. I'm a member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is a very exclusive club and organization that I'm a part of. I'm a member. I qualify for, which I'm really excited. But most importantly, I'm also a father. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have two lovely boys, Zion and Kai. They're both 12 and 4 years old, and I just love being there. Watch my sons play baseball, coaching on the weekends, riding my bicycle. It's been a fantastic ride and journey for my adult life, and I just love this. And well, so let's get to the nitty gritty. What is exactly credit? Credit is you borrow money from your future self for today's needs and wants. Let me say that is credit. All credit is you're borrowing money from the future for today's needs and wants. Now, oftentimes we like, do I need this? Do I want? We get needs and wants kind of mixed up and mixed out what is needed and what, especially in our society, where two-thirds of our economy is based on consumption, us continuing to buy things. So I think this is a really true understanding of credit. I think credit is one of those basic foundational things for us money. When we get our credit right, we could the sky is the limit on the opportunities we can actually do for ourselves. So there's good credit and there's bad credit. If we use credit, credit can be our friend. It can help us build wealth. It can help us have an easier life, and it can help advance us in life as well. Or we can have, or if we do not use it right, we use bad credit using a tremendous amount of time, and bad credit can hurt us. It's not the best thing, and we're just borrowing from our future selves. So the reason why we say we're borrowing from our future selves is because hopefully with credit, if we're borrowing from our future selves, we can do two things. We could be borrowing money today to make sure our future selves advances in life, or we could borrow from our future selves and make it harder for ourselves with credit. Let me say that again. We are borrowing from the future to invest in ourselves today so we'll be better in the future, or we're borrowing today to make us worse in the future. So there's good debt and there's bad debt. So good debt is having a mortgage, having a house, educating ourselves. The best way people say the best thing you do is invest in yourself, and education is a great tool and vehicle for that. or business ownership, investing in your business, growing a business, being a business owner. I think it's the one of the most greatest things you could be as a business owner, and investing and using and leveraging and using money to invest in. We're seeing that more than ever today. As if we look at the stock market or equities market, we call it, and you see that it is very leveraged where people are borrowing from it to hopefully grow for their future selves. It's that business owner who might invest into their business, hoping that that business will grow. Is you getting educated so you can go to college or get your master's, and your income today in the future will be higher to pay off that debt. Now, there's also bad debt. Bad debt's a car loan. Why? Because as soon as you step off the lot, the depreciation on average is about 20 to 25% as soon as you step off the lot. So that vehicle is a depreciating asset, but you borrowing, you paying interest for this vehicle. Credit cards. The average credit card is 20% right now, even though we're at a very low interest rate and market environment. Store credit, borrowing from ourselves. Why do we really need to buy those things? Is it a want or a need? We always got to figure that out. And cash advances. I think cash advances and payday loans are so expensive of loans. We see those $300 cash advances for $255. And you look, it's only $45, but that's an expensive $45 to borrow from it when it's a lot cheaper ways to borrow money and use it. So we have to understand bad debt is usually we have high interest rates. It's high interest rates. The value of what we're purchasing depreciate and it does not grow. While good debt, the value of the thing that we're investing is going to hopefully grow, and that we're making a bet that it will grow. So that's the difference between good debt and bad debt. So how do we judge our debt? Our debt is our word and our bond on how good it is. And there's three credit agencies that determine how good our word is. There's TransUnion, Experian, and there's Equifax. And each one has your score going from 400 all the way up to 800, 850, which is your perfect credit score. And each one might have your credit score a little bit different. And that the basis and the reason that is one, everything on your reports might be different, a little bit different from one case to another. As certain credit agencies, let's say you have your credit card, might only report to Experian, but they might not report to Equifax, and so on and so forth. So that's why you have three agencies. And when you combine them all, that is usually your average or your FICO score. So once again, like I talked about good debt, bad debt, if you're a good person who's a person promise you where you pay your bills on time, you pay your credit cards on time, and you keep a low limit, your credit score is your credit range could be from 300 to 850. Now, good credit is usually between 670 and 739. Excellent credit is 8 to 850, and poor credit is 300 to 579. Right? So let's talk about this a little bit more before I go to the next slide. So what is your basis for your credit? There's a couple of things. One is how much credit do you have available? Another thing, what is your history of your credit? Are you on time paying for your credit? It doesn't mean you have to pay exactly that day that is due. You have a 30-day window before it's reported to those three credit agencies. So once and then also what type of credit? Is it all credit cards? Do you have a personal loan? Do you have a mortgage? All that comes up into one big pot of gumbo for your credit, and that's how we grade your credit score. Now you might be like, Jason, I don't have credit. What should I do? What should my strategies be to build my credit? Here's some strategies from the ground up. If you don't have credit, you need to pay off credit, you're trying to fix your credit back up. Here's a basic strategy for you to do. And I don't think credit is as complicated as we make it. I think it's the boogeyman underneath the bed. It's something that we creep up, we're scared of, we want to put our head in the sand and avoid, but it's not that hard. So here's my strategies to build credit. I think this is very simple. One is get three credit cards. Yes, I said three, not one, not two, my three. Get three credit cards. You say, oh, Jay, I can't qualify for one. Fine. This is what you do. You get what they call a secure credit card. So there's unsecured credit card, which is not backed by anything. And then there's a secure credit card, which is backed by something. And that backing is your money, your cash, your dinero, your dough, your pedros, whatever you want to call it. So what you do is, if you can't qualify, fill out an application, you can't qualify, get a secure card. It might ask you for a $200 or $500 or $1,000, whatever deposit they usually do, but you get three of those credit cards and you make that deposit. Every month you only use up to 30% limit. So if you have $1,000 credit card at that time, you only use it up to $300. If you have $100 credit card as a secure card, you only use $30. But what you do is you only have it at that 30%, and then you pay it off every single month. Now, after a while, what's going to happen is your credit score is going to keep going through the roof. You got 3 credit cards the same that you're paying on time. This person does what he promises, and he doesn't keep a lot of debt. The worst thing to do is max out your credit card, keep it there, and only pay the minimum balance, as you're now in debt and enslaved forever. And the last thing you do with your credit report is to go on credit annual credit report. And when you go on annual credit report, it is a free website to look at your credit report. It won't tell you your score, but you can look at your 3 credit reports: and Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And upon that, you can see and make sure everything is legit and honorable. Now, let's say something's wrong on there. It's some late payments that you say, I never pay that bill late. There's some things that it's not your fault, or it's not your debt. What you can do is you can fight it on that website. And the great thing right now, due to COVID, is you are able to pull up your credit report, no harm onto you or your credit report every single week. So I'm going to go on all 3 credit agencies, make sure everything right, and I'm going to fight my credit at that point. Now, after you fight it with whoever you owe the debt to, they have to respond back within 30 days, saying, "Hey, we have evidence this person is guilty of this thing. It's not a crime. They just need to prove that it was you, or was actually what it says on the credit report is true and accurate. If it's not, it will fight off your credit report." I know it's a lot of credit agencies, but for most of us, this is all we traditionally have to do to build our credit. So last but not least, I just want to answer if anybody have any other additional questions regarding it. Uh, I think right now what we have to do is really, when we think about credit, is just put it in the right place, just thinking that credit is a long-term play. Don't think just because you see these people who actually pay 2, 3 thousand to fix credit, you have to. I think this is a long-term play where you slowly build up your credit and you pay on time. You will have great success paying off your credit and building credit. Now, if you have any other questions, you can reach out and email me at matthewsfinancial@gmail.com, or give me a call at 510-229-7608. Hope you have a fantastic day.